So Tyler Perry just got hit with a massive $260 million lawsuit, and the claims are straight up wild. Word is, he allegedly tried to make a move on a young white actor behind the scenes, and now the internet is in full meltdown. This bombshell, it is dropping right after Cat Williams lit up the so-called fake black excellence crowd, the folks the media loves to worship, but who may be hiding some seriously shady behavior, targeting folks just trying to make it in the game. Now Cat's digging even deeper, dropping more jaw-dropping claims about what people are now calling Tyler Perry's alleged white boy casting couch, and the timing. Way too perfect to ignore. Suddenly it's all starting to make sense. For years, Perry's name has been tied to power in Black Hollywood. From building a billion-dollar media empire to launching his own studio, he went from living in his car to being a mogul. But behind all that shine, a darker story is bubbling up, one where more and more people are saying his rise might not be as squeaky clean as it looks. Cat Williams, and he's not alone, has been saying for years that there's a sick game being played in Hollywood. According to him, some big shots only let certain black men win if they play roles that make them look weak, clownish, or flat-out ridiculous. And guess who keeps getting called out at the center of that game? Tyler Perry. Yup, his name's always at the top of that list, but let's be clear, Cat didn't come at Perry on no personal beef. In fact, he gave him props for being a grinder. Still, right after that, boom, Cat dropped a bomb that rocked the whole industry. He straight up said Tyler Perry is a drag queen behind the scenes, who allegedly uses young men for his own personal pleasure. And no, this wasn't one of his jokes. Cat was dead serious. He was calling out what he says really goes down when the lights go off. He painted a disturbing picture of a behind-the-scenes setup where landing a role might come with a price.
Every time about how filming Meet the Browns was the most stressful and hardest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. I had no idea that Tyler Perry's studio schedule was so drastic. If you're working on a regular network show, they take a whole week to film an episode. Tyler Perry Studios, they film an episode in one day.
According to him, if you want that big break, you might have to give something up in return. That's when this whole so-called casting couch theory starts getting real messy.
The character was Jeffrey, a fat high school teenager who was very intellectual, who was getting bullied at school. I take 2 to 3 days to learn the entire script. On the day of filming, first thing we do is a table read. I know all of my lines. I'm ready to go. So the director, who is Alfonso Ribeiro Carlton in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he starts to block us, telling the actors where to go, where to stand. Mr. Perry comes in, everything changes.
And Cat ain't the only one speaking up. More voices are stepping forward, and what they're saying, it's starting to line up. Brandon J., an actor and voice coach, went viral for posting a video about his own weird experience with Perry. Brandon says he got a role on Meet the Browns, playing a high school jock named Jeffrey. But then, last minute, Perry allegedly jumped in and rewrote the whole thing. Suddenly, the character turned into a gay teen crushing on his bully. Brandon says that was never the role he signed up for. It came out of nowhere, and that last-minute switch raised some serious eyebrows about what's really going on behind the scenes.
Literally run the entire episode for him, and he hates it. Does that mean I have to learn a whole new script? Yes, that's what it means. Mr. Perry on the spot starts rewriting the entire script, and he's feeding me the lines to say, and the director is kind of standing on the side like, you better do it, because if not, they will fire you. Here is where the shoe hit the fan. So in the middle of Mr. Perry changing up the scenes, he says, you know, I want Jeffrey to be gay, and he has a crush on his bully. That's not what I auditioned for.
And it gets even wilder. What Cat hinted at another actor is now saying actually happened. Derek Dixon, who played Dale on The Oval, just dropped a $260 million lawsuit on Perry with some heavy accusations. Court docs show Derek didn't hold back. He named dates, locations, and even dropped text messages that he says prove Perry tried to put him in a compromising position. This ain't blog talk. This is filed in court. According to Derek, it all started back in 2019 when Perry spotted him at an event. Out of the blue, he asked for his number and said he might have a role for him. Sure enough, Derek later landed a part on Ruthless, but from there, things allegedly took a dark turn. Derek says Perry invited him to his Atlanta mansion in January 2020. At the time, he thought it was a friendly hang, maybe a networking opportunity. But what happened next is what has everybody talking. Derek says he had too much to drink that night and ended up crashing in a guest room. Sounds harmless until, according to the lawsuit, Perry allegedly came into the room and started touching his thighs while he was asleep. These are major accusations, and Derek's got receipts. He's not just talking, he's taking this to court. He says he shut it down that night. But the story didn't end there. Not even close.
I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
I wasn't walking away from the money. I was walking away from the circumstances with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14. I've heard the stories, seen these
After the
kinds of
incident,
things play out
Derek
in front
landed
of
a
me.
bigger role on the Oval as Dale, a homeless gay man who sleeps with people to survive. And Derek says that wasn't a coincidence. It felt personal.
Well, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah.
It's incredibly stressful.
He claims Perry told him to his face that he was looking for someone who gave off that exact same vibe, someone needy, loyal, and completely dependent. Derek believes Perry was literally casting his real-life type onto the screen, and it doesn't stop there. Derek says Perry began sending him late-night texts, stuff that got real suggestive. He claims Perry even said he sleeps with men. Now keep in mind, Tyler Perry has never come out publicly as gay or bi, but according to Derek, the texts tell a different story. The lawsuit even includes screenshots. One allegedly read, "You are the rose. No straight man would be walking with you unless he wanted to F you, and I would F you." Yeah, wild.
Wild, right? He's got the whole world in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands. Hey, I'm just sitting here on my porch just looking. What am I looking at? I'm looking to the hills from whence cometh my help. For my help? Some of y'all know the rest. I just wanted to come on and just tell everybody, just be as calm as you can.
Now Perry's legal team is brushing it all off, calling the whole thing a scam and straight-up extortion. But Derek's not backing off. He says he felt trapped, like if he ever said no to Perry, it could mean the end of his whole career.
This person is a predator, and he's one of several. And I have proof. It's not like I'm just making false accusations. The receipts, the recordings, down to the police department, and let them hear this individual, the month and the year that he showed up to my apartment and offered me $100,000 to take my clothes off. He said, "I don't even need to touch you. I just want to see you naked."
He said the pressure was intense and the power imbalance made walking away feel like career suicide. That's why Derek said he kept his cool and played it smart. Instead of calling it out directly, he'd respond with lines like, "I'm not really a sexual person," just to dodge the situation. He wasn't okay with what was going on, he was just terrified of getting blackballed. He knew calling out someone like Tyler Perry could end everything he'd worked for. And now, Cat Williams' old warnings are hitting different. Cat once said, "Hollywood will slap the crazy label on you the moment you challenge the system, just to silence you and keep the machine running."
I declined. Because again, scenic group, I got my integrity with me. I'll take the long way around. I recorded it because I didn't trust him. And I had told him over and over. And he still always tried shit. So if people don't believe me, they can hear him. I can press play and you can hear the person and you'll know immediately who the person is that's offering me $100,000 to strip. You'll know right away. And it'll break your heart.
He even used Dave Chappelle as an example. Remember when Dave walked away from that $50 million Comedy Central deal? He said he didn't want to be anybody's puppet, but instead of listening, the media flipped it. Oprah even had him on her show and tried steering the convo into a mental breakdown angle. Dave didn't fall for it, he just sat there and said no. But by then, the damage was done. They labeled him unstable, just like Kat said would happen. So now people are asking, was that $50 million offer tied to the same kind of pressure Derek's talking about with Perry? That same dark energy seems to be showing up again. Right after Derek's lawsuit made headlines, the critics came out swinging, questioning his timing, his motives. Why now? Why when Tyler Perry's new film Straw, starring Taraji P. Henson, is blowing up? Some are already calling it a cash grab, a setup, a smear campaign. But that right there is exactly what Kat warned about. He said, the minute you call out a big name in Hollywood, the story flips. Suddenly you're the villain even when you're the one speaking truth. Tyler tried to shrug it off with a laugh. Literally, he cracked a quick joke telling fans not to overthink it, but right now, no one's laughing. People aren't in the mood for jokes or vague denials. They want proof. And Derek says he's got it. Names, dates, messages, and a full story that's starting to make more sense now that others are stepping up to one of those voices. Christian Keys. Now, Christian never dropped names, but the internet didn't need much help connecting dots. In an old interview, he spoke about a powerful industry figure who tried manipulating him behind closed doors, super shady behavior, and who was he working with back then? Tyler Perry. Christian had been featured in multiple Perry productions. So when people matched up the timelines and projects, the pattern looked real suspicious. Fans became convinced that Christian was talking about Tyler without ever saying it out loud. And let's not forget 50 Cent jumping in. He posted a photo with Tyler and dropped a caption that had everyone talking. Like, did he just say what we think he said? Nah, we ain't jacking this game. Yeah, he was trolling, and you could tell he was joking, but the message was loud. 50's always shown love to Tyler, especially for helping him with major media moves. No surprise there. But outside of that tight circle, the public's losing patience. Whispers that have been floating around for years are now exploding into interviews, court filings, and timelines, and the pressure is building. This isn't fading anytime soon. The internet is on fire, and Tyler Perry might be trying to act unbothered, but the streets, they're not letting this slide. People are going through old interviews, casting lists, and behind-the-scenes footage, and what they're uncovering. It's triggering more questions than answers. Fans are now asking how many young actors earned their roles on talent alone, and how many were pressured into going along with something else just to get in the door. That's the chilling part. Folks who once admired Perry's journey, from homeless to Hollywood heavyweight, are now second-guessing everything. What really happened behind those studio gates? And how many people stayed silent just to keep their shot? Meanwhile, more actors are posting cryptic messages online. No names dropped, but plenty of "I've been there and Hollywood ain't what it seems" type vibes. That subtle shade, it's saying a lot and adding more fuel to the fire. And social media, it's a battlefield. Platforms are flooded with people debating, defending, and demanding. Memes, think pieces, conspiracy threads, everybody's trying to figure this puzzle out. Because this isn't just about one lawsuit anymore. It's about something bigger, a pattern that's been hiding in plain sight. And guess what? Derek's not backing down. His legal team says they're locked in and ready to take this all the way. And the evidence reportedly stacked: screenshots, call logs, and possibly more names waiting in the wings. This ain't your typical Hollywood scandal. It's looking more and more like a full-on reckoning. Hollywood protects its own until someone finally pulls the curtain back. And right now, that curtain's wide open, flapping in the wind while everyone's watching what's about to go down. Now the million-dollar question is, who's next? Because if Derek's story is just the tip of the iceberg, this could be the crack that brings the whole dam crashing down. Folks online are already predicting more actors could speak up, especially the ones who stayed quiet just to survive in the industry. That's the chilling part. How many people kept their mouths shut just to keep working? People are calling it the Hollywood hush game, where fame comes with invisible strings. And the second you cut those strings, you get cut off. We've seen it time and time again. Talented folks suddenly disappear from the scene. No explanation, just gone. And now people are starting to wonder, is this the reason why? Let's not forget, Tyler Perry built his image on being a voice for the community, uplifting stories, second chances, faith, and redemption. But now, with these serious allegations flying around, that carefully crafted image is starting to crack for some. Fans who once viewed him as untouchable are now side-eyeing everything, asking just how deep this rabbit hole really goes. And it's sparking a bigger conversation about power in Hollywood, who actually controls the rules, and who's expected to follow them no matter what. Cat Williams already broke it down. The game is rigged. He warned us, speak against the wrong person, and they'll erase you, call you crazy, make sure you never work again. Derek's lawsuit might just be the spark that ignites something bigger. If more people come forward, Tyler Perry could be facing a level of heat we've never seen aimed his way before. This isn't just another gossip headline. This is starting to feel like a moment of truth, a test to see who Hollywood really protects, and who gets sacrificed when the real story comes out. And right now, the audience is wide awake and watching every single move, so before you scroll away, do your research. Look into where all this media coverage comes from. It might just flip your whole perspective, and people online, they're not holding back. One user wrote, "This ain't about tearing down a black man. This is about consequences finally catching up." And Cat Williams, "You already told us clear as day. At best, these dudes are gonna get exposed." Now it's starting to look like that moment is finally here. So now we ask you, was this a long time coming, or just another headline blowing up the timeline? Sound off in the comments. Let us know. Are you siding with Derek, still backing Tyler? Or do you think both have some explaining to do? And if you're here for the real story, unfiltered, raw, and unapologetic, hit that follow, tap like, and stay locked in, because we've got more truths, more receipts, and way more jaw-dropping drama on the way. This story, far from over, not even close.